Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing good. My name is CS Harshdeep Singh Narula and today we are going to discuss about mandatory dematerialization of shares of a private limited company. So there is a lot of confusion going on around us, whether it is applicable on us, whether the new notification applicable on us, what is the criteria, whether it's 40 crore or 4 crore, whether it's 40 crore and 4 crore, whether it's 20 crore or 2 crore, whether it's 20 crore and 2 crore. Let's decode this in today's video. So recently, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, that is MCA, has introduced significant changes, that is major changes in the regulations governing dematerialization of the securities of a private limited company. This video is about that only, whether it's applicable on you or not. Moving further, recently on October 27th, 2023, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs issued a crucial notification wide companies prospectus and allotment of securities second amendment rules 2023. Under the provisions of Companies Act, the ministry, that is Ministry of Corporate Affairs, previously mandated that public companies, that is limited companies or public companies, must maintain and transact their shares in demat form starting from October 2nd, 2018. However, this requirement did not extend to private limited company at that time. So we mean that earlier in year 2018, a notification came wide from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs that there is a compulsory requirement of dematerialization of shares of a public company. However, at that time it was not applicable on the private limited companies. However, this is not the case right now. Let's discuss further. Recently, to make things more transparent and more favorable to the stakeholders of the company, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has introduced the company's prospectus and allotment of securities second amendment rules which will come into effect on 30th September 2024. Now it is going to come into effect next year 30th September. However, you should prepare yourself from now only if these provisions are applicable on you. Moving further, in accordance with these rules, non-small private limited company are obligated to dematerialize their existing securities and ensure that any future issuance of transfer of securities is conducted exclusively in demat form. So the companies which are not small companies, these provisions are applicable on them. On all the public companies, these provisions are applicable. However, these provisions are also applicable on the companies, on the private limited companies which are not small companies. So let's decode what do you mean by a small company. So the definition of small company is like that. Earlier, the small company used to mean that, I'll tell you earlier and not now. So Ministry of Corporate Affairs has given companies a grace period of 18 months. So this is the very first confusion I'll clear you about. From which date the grace months are going to start and on which date the grace months are going to end. So the grace month period starts from 1st April 2023. The notification came on 27th October 2023. However, it is being applied on retrospective basis, that is on 1st April 2023. That is, you have to check your status of a small company as on 31st March 2023, and the last date to comply to these regulations is 30th September 2024. Moving further, to whom it is not applicable, first we will discuss that. It is important to note that the dematerialization of securities does not apply to specific type of companies, including nidhi companies, government companies, wholly owned subsidiary companies of public companies, and small private limited companies. These latest provisions and the earlier provisions of the dematerialization of shares is not applicable on these companies which I just discussed about. The new regulations are applicable to public limited companies from year 2018. However, the old regulations were applicable from 2018. However, the new regulations are also applicable on private limited company from September 30, 2024. Moving further, the main thing of this video, that is definition of small companies. So what do you mean by a small company? Now when we are decoding the definition of small company, it's very important to know the difference between and or. Moving further, small company means the company other than a public company which has a paid up share capital which does not exceed 4 crore rupees or such higher amount as may be prescribed, and this is the main thing, and a turnover of which as per profit and loss account of 31st March 2023 does not exceed a turnover of 40 crore rupees or any such higher amount. Let's decode this now. Earlier the provision, instead of 4 crore rupees it was 2 crore rupees, and instead of 20 crore rupees it was, instead of 40 crore rupees it was 20 crore rupees. However, when I discuss that paid up share capital has to be 4 crore rupees and turnover has to be 40 crore rupees. But it is not or. For example, you have turnover of 50 crore rupees and paid up share capital of 2 crore rupees. Then you are not, then these regulations are not applicable on you. You are still a small private limited company. Let's suppose your paid up share capital is 10 crore rupees and your turnover is 1 crore rupees. Still these regulations are not applicable on you and you are still a small private limited company. These regulations will only be applicable on you when you satisfy both of the provisions, both of the criterias. That is, you have to have your paid up share capital more than 4 crore plus and means plus, and a turnover of more than 40 crore rupees. Let's say, for example, your paid up share capital is 5 crore and your turnover is 50 crore. Then you have to get your private limited company shares dematerialized. You have to get it as in generated. You have to file the past 6 such forms. You have to engage RTA. You have to engage a depository. Moving further, provided that nothing in this clause shall apply to a holding company or a subsidiary company, a company registered under Section 8 company, a company or a body corporate governed by any special act. Before we discussed about 4 or 5 companies, now let's add these 3 more points in that. Moving further, introduction to amendment. MCA added Rule 9B. So when we are discussing about to whom it is applicable and how it is applicable, and we decoded about 4 crore and 40 crore criteria, let's also discuss on the laws applicable on you so that you can get your things done right. Moving further, MCA added Rule 9B and Rule 9 as per this amendment. Every non-small private company with effect from 30th September 2024 shall issue its securities only in demat form. Ensure demat of all its existing securities. That is the duty of your company to do that. So what is the major impact on companies of this? After 2018, unlisted companies, the companies, public limited companies which were unlisted, had to get the entire shareholdings of their promoters, directors, KMPs, shareholders to demat. They had to issue the securities in demat form. They had to make buyback of securities, issue of bonus shares, right issue, everything in demat form. Moving further, impact on security holders who intend to transfer securities on or after 30th September shall get such securities demat. For example, you are a private limited company shareholder and you have your shares in physical form and you want to transfer it on 1st October 2024. You cannot just transfer it like this, well, like SH4. We used to sign SH4, we used to put a fixed stamp, sign and pay, done. No, now you need to open a demat account of a company and get your company's demat share in your account, and then you can do a transfer of your shares to any other person. So this is the case. So what is the process of these compliances? As per Rule 9B, every holder of security of a non-small private company can transfer its shares on or after 30th September 2024 only in demat form. For conversion of shares into demat, the shareholders require ISIN number of the company. So you must have seen in the stock exchange, there is a unique code given to the companies of which has been dematerialized. A unique code means ISIN. Moving further, so ISIN has to be generated by the depository, and there are only two depositories in our country. One is CDSL and another is NSGL. And for that you have to engage RTA. RTA is a middleman, that is registrar and share transfers agent. Second step is, after the first step is conducted, now you have to apply for the ISIN. So that was all for the video. If you want to know more about demat of shares, if you want to know more about how to generate ISIN, if you want to know about how to engage RTA, which RTA to engage, how to engage depository, how to file form pass 6, how to prepare the registers of members, how to do the transactions in near future, please feel free to comment, or you can also reach me on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is mentioned in the description. You can also email me on my email address. Thank you very much.